Hi, I'm Siva, and today I'd like to talk about protein drinks, and more specifically, how can we align with the principles of Ayurveda to take in these protein drinks in a way that is more easy to digest for our bodies. So, I have three simple tips for you. The first is that you don't have to have your protein drink cold or in a smoothie. So most protein powders on the bottle will say add cold water and shake, and voila, you have a protein drink. And most of us know that that protein powder is just gonna and kind of clump up and maybe clump to the bottom of the cup. So really blending tends to be a better way to get it to all dissolve. If it's not dissolved, it's going to be harder to digest. So if you actually use warm water, at least room temperature water, then you're going to have better dissolving of your protein powder, and that means it's going to be easier to digest. In general, with the principles of Ayurveda, we understand that cold foods are really challenging to digest. This is why we get that throat freeze and the brain freeze and all of that thing. It's because your esophagus is spasming, which it doesn't really like to do. So if you just change the temperature of your protein drink to be warm or to bring it in a way that's at least room temperature, then you're going to aid in digesting a great deal. Some people say, oh, warm protein drink, that sounds really gross, but you can make it into a lovely bedtime elixir or afternoon sort of blend, or even a warm morning elixir where it's protein powder and maybe warm nut milk or some nut milk and a little bit of warm water, and add in some ginger, some cardamom, some nutmeg, some nice spices to make it yummy and feel like a good warm drink as well. So that brings me to my second point is you can add digestive spices and this will really help. So we know that when we extract all of this protein and then we condense it and we are trying to get the most protein that we can in this powder and in this little scoop that we're putting into our drink, it's really quite dense. And dense things in general are just harder to digest. So, once again, we can really support our bodies to assimilate all this protein and actually have it feel really good in our digestive systems by adding some digestive spices. So, the ones I mentioned are fantastic. Pepper, cayenne would also be some options. Some of the spices that we might even use in juicing, for example. So get creative and see if you can boost a little bit of digestive support by adding a spice. So, number three suggestion is avoid mixing in challenging combinations. So, I have clients that will tell me, oh, yeah, I have my protein drink and I put frozen berries in it, and I put raw kale and put some coconut milk, and I put the whole thing in my Vitamix, and oh, it's so yummy, and I feel so good that I'm doing this protein drink every morning. And that's actually really very hard for your tummy because we've got fruit combined with all sorts of other things, which is always a challenging thing for the body to handle. And then those raw greens are so vata, that it would really be a lot better to digest if you could take those greens and then actually juice them and add the green juice to your smoothie or your protein drink. That would be something that actually would be more supported in assimilating the whole thing. So pay attention. So common things that are really challenging combinations are the raw greens in with the drink, um, dairy in with the drink. And if you're going to use fruit, we want to avoid the fruit and dairy combination, and we'd also want to avoid the fruit and the raw greens combination. So, in general, if you're going to go for protein powder plus a nut milk, maybe plus some spices, That's really clean, it's easy to digest. If you really want to go the fruit route, stick with just the fruit, you know? So you've got the frozen berries and you've got the water, and you just make it kind of a fruit smoothie that's got some added protein powder in it. If you're going to go with the dairy, then keep it just kind of separate with the dairy, protein powder and your milk and your digestive spices, and done. If you really want to get in your greens, then either get a protein powder that has greens in it as well, or you can use a juicer and put the juice in of the greens, and that's going to be a whole lot easier on your tummy. So, hope that was helpful, and talk to you guys soon.